Purpok here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted in the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today, we'll be taking a look at Dogman, showing now in theaters. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so, Dogman. I've actually been quite excited to see this movie. I'm not gonna, pretend I wasn't. There's some surprisingly decent looking movies releasing in the year already. I mean, I guess we are a whole month into it, but no one ever expects anything good to come out in January. And, I guess most movie studios were wanting to keep it that way, because almost nothing came out in January. But one of the things that did come out, that I finally got a chance to see recently, which is actually quite good, is Dogman, the newest Dreamworks animation feature film, based on the series of children's books by author Dav Pilkey, who you might know from the Captain Underpants books, and for the real ones out there, you might remember Ricky Ricotta, but it's probably just me. But yeah, considering how much I love Captain Underpants from my youth and how much I enjoyed the Captain Underpants movie when it was new, and, still do, I mean, I consider myself a reasonably mature individual, but I'm not above these things. I'm not above a little bit of silliness and childlike wonder. So I was excited, genuinely excited to see Dogman, because it looked really fun and cute and sweet and interesting. And I've never read any of the Dogman books, because I'm not in the target audience anymore. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued by what I've heard about them, because Captain Underpants was always a subtly, smart series, teaching, good lessons, and a lot of, basic, literacy awareness stuff to young children. But, the stuff I've heard about Dogman is that it's funny and silly, obviously, but it's also got strangely serious and effectively deep moments in it. And I don't know the plot extent of most of these, but I've seen stuff out of context that I thought was genuinely fascinating. And I had to know more about this series, because Dav Pilkey may write for a child audience, but he is probably one of the most influential and important American novelists in the last 25 years. He really knows how to write for children without talking down to them, and that spirit really carries into this project. Again, I don't know anything about Dogman really, but I know that in context, Dogman is a series kind of within Captain Underpants, sort of, because it's written by George and Harold from that series. So, long story short, it is a series that is written by and drawn by children. So adapting it into a feature film is really fun, because you get to translate that feeling of what if a 10-year-old made a movie and out of their comic book, and it feels so authentically like that. It is so vividly animated. It's really expressive and fluid. It's kind of insane how fast it is sometimes. Really quite freaking fast. Some of the comedy sections especially, are so frantic and clustered with gags. I haven't seen this kind of frenetic nature since Hundreds of Beavers, or to an extent, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's some fast freaking editing, and it doesn't slow down sometimes. Except when it does, because like I said, there's some room in here for those deep, emotional moments that Pilkey likes to sneak into his work. There's some really cute and wholesome, family dynamic stuff here. There's some interesting ideas at play thematically that feel kind of familiar from Captain Underpants. The idea of a weird, kind of absurdist, but as it is, an examination of the duality of man, or something like that, through the lens of children's media and silly cartoon characters. While at the same time, it's, absurdly dumb and tongue-in-cheek in terms of its sense of humor and presentation. It is just crammed with ridiculous jokes that are all really well executed and smartly written and staged. It's a surprisingly good-looking movie, and decently scored. Nothing mind-blowing outside of the visuals and the technical department, really, but everything's solid, or even a little bit better than that. And again, as someone who quite enjoyed the Captain Underpants movie, who had, childhood nostalgia for the property and knowledge of the books, even if I didn't read all of them, I have never read Dogman, like I said, and I thought this was really fun. I kind of want to see them do more with this franchise, and I don't know, maybe I'll go to the library and read the books myself. Is it silly to say these things? Maybe. But I kind of fucking loved Dogman. And whatever. Sue me for it. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie. I want to be clear. I don't think this is like a masterpiece or like the next fantastic Dreamworks movie necessarily. Though I will say, they've been on a roll lately. They are like kind of famously inconsistent with their movies in terms of quality, but kind of been on a tear these last couple few. And I'm happy to say this is another good one. It's a really, really good comedy, if little else for some people. But if you're willing to invest yourself in these characters, it is actually very sweet and like full of heart. And genuinely, like the density of the gags here makes it like an impressive and rewatchable family film that, I don't know, we don't see as many of this nature these days. And it does a lot of little things that I can respect a lot for a children's movie, as a family movie. And as an adaptation of a book by a man who so very clearly values creativity and persistence of like a positive vision in a cynical world. I'm kind of bigging it up, but I want to take this seriously because I enjoyed this movie, and as dumb and silly as it is, it's by design, and it also knows when to slow down and take things seriously. It managed to get a reasonable performance out of Pete Davidson. I don't know how they managed it, but it's a pretty reasonable little movie. Pretty good. I would give Dogman an 8 out of 10. Maybe my rating will drop on a rewatch, and I can foresee a rewatch because I did quite enjoy this. And I'd like to watch it with friends. The theater was empty. I went to a early in the day showing, and it was just no one there. But I would love to see this with a crowd and see the reactions to some of these outrageous, like outlandish gags. And also some of the just like kind of very real and touching emotional moments. It's, yeah, dang solid movie. I'm probably going to rate it higher than most people. And again, this rating could change on rewatch, but if you want something to take your mind off the world, and something like sweet and like happy, something that'll make you like laugh and forget about it all for a while, but not totally turn your brain to goop and make you think a little bit, this is a great pick for that. Dogman is a great time. You should go see it. I should maybe read those books so I can learn more about Dogman and his funky cat family or whatever is going on there. And Dav Pilkey should continue being based as fuck, which he is.